All right, welcome. So, pretty excited about this one. We're going to be talking about Rocky Balboa, specifically the montage training scene from it. And the reason I'm so interested in it is, number one, it's an 80s, or not an 80s, but it's still a training montage, and I feel like that's like a lost art these days. But kind of just from a fitness standpoint, a lot of times we'll watch these training sequences and everything, and there's a lot of really functional slash like realistic training that goes into these often. But also sometimes there's some stuff that is just good cinematic value, looks cool, maybe doesn't have the most training value realistically out of it. So kind of want to break it down, assess it from a trainer standpoint, and just kind of take a look, give my thoughts on it. So let's do it.
To beat this guy, you need speed. You don't have it. And your knees can't take the pounding. So hard running is out. And you got arthritis in your neck. And you've got calcium deposits on most of your joints. So sparring is out.
I had that problem.
So what we'll be calling on is good old-fashioned blunt force trauma. Horsepower. Heavy-duty, cast-iron, pile-driving punches that will have to hurt so much they'll rattle his ancestors. Every time you hit him with his shot, it's got to feel like he tried kissing the express train. Yeah, let's start building some hurting bombs.
All right, so cool, right off the bat. So first of all, let's actually just talk about that gym first. I did another video about choosing a gym and just kind of looking at this gym. This gym has its own vibe going on, and I talked about how important vibe was when it comes to kind of where you're training. Do you enjoy where you're at, right? Like, do you enjoy being in that atmosphere, whatever that atmosphere may be? This gym has a really cool vibe. It's got that dark dungeon vibe, and for a lot of us, that's a cool place to train, right? Kind of low light and everything kind of just gets it in the zone, right? So the first thing that he's talking about here is he's talking about all of Rocky's ailments. I mean, Rocky's like, he's older now, he's aged, and his body has changed. And so I really appreciate from this scene here that they're being super realistic about the training modality that they're going to approach this with, right? He's got a lot of things going on with the body, and a lot of his old training methods, or some of the more common or traditional training methods, are going to be out the window, right? And so I like how he's eliminating a lot of things, and that's such a healthy approach. There's so many different ways that you can tackle any given fitness mission, and the fact that they're adapting and streamlining and saying this is going to be our new path forward, it's going to be the only realistic path, is excellent. And we should all take a lesson from this as whether we age or we go through injuries, just adapt your training method. All right, and the first scene, consequently enough, is Rocky running. They're talking about how he's got, like I said, a lot of ailments, a little bit of running, right? Like I've said before, totally fine, right? It's really just that overuse when we over-rely on one specific modality for cardio, for example, such as running, that we start to get injuries. So hopefully he doesn't do too much of it in this state he's in. All right, so already I love how they're sticking to their plan. They're talking about just building huge amounts of strength and power, right? And right now Rocky's focusing on all this nice heavy weightlifting, right? Even a nice little kettlebell in there, which is more of a dynamic strength movement, arguably a little bit more real life combat translation than your traditional barbell weights and everything. So I love that they threw that in there. And just kind of pay attention to the weight too that he's moving. He's moving some serious weight. All right, cool. So getting after some chains there. Chains are really interesting, right? Because it creates progressive overload as you're lifting. So the whole idea is, right, depending on the lift, usually people use them for like bench press. You can use them for a lot of different things though. But when the weight is lowered, let's say the barbell down here, there's a bunch of the chain on the floor. So the overall weight doesn't weigh too much. As you start to press up, or in his case, he was doing lateral raises, as you lift it off the ground, more and more and more of the chain is coming off the ground. And so it's, as we raise up, it's getting heavier and heavier and heavier. Really beneficial training tool. Look at how much weight he's moving. That's insane. Some plyometric push-ups, love it. Look at that weight. Look at that weight. How many plates was that? I'm trying to see if I can even count the number of plates on there. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's like 5 plates. That's like 495. My goodness. And I mean, just looking at it, it looks like that's Sylvester Stallone. I mean, I don't know if there were any Hollywood tricks here, but I mean, he's a strong dude, so I wouldn't be too surprised if he was actually doing that. I love the little ode to the old movies. They let him back into the meat locker. That's pretty awesome. I mean, this is Stallone punching. I mean, he's so skilled. Beautiful power clean. We talked about power cleans in the last one, back in the Rocky IV analysis, and I love that they're really putting a lot of emphasis on it here. Power cleans, again, that's your performance movement. I mean, you're going to get a lot out of that from a performance standpoint. Like I said, definitely not a pure bodybuilding movement, right? You're not going to, at the higher levels, you're really not going to put a lot of muscle on with power cleans alone versus other things that are more bodybuilding centric. But for this, I mean, Rocky's training for a performance event, a boxing match. And so there is a lot of benefit to the power clean from a sports standpoint. And I mean, Rocky is moving some huge weight here for not being like an Olympic athlete. Beautiful. And again, still got the old run up the stairs. He's still doing it many years later. All right, that was awesome. So, I mean, I just love how they've been progressing over time. They've done a really good job throughout the Rocky movies, kind of keeping up with the times and how like the science has actually gotten really good. If you think back to like Rocky 1, he was like, like chasing chickens, right? He was I think, he was doing some more old school traditional stuff, but there was nothing this advanced going on because strength and conditioning back then it was not as emphasized as it is now. One of the things that I kind of wish they would have thrown into this one, or, maybe just to like think about, is like all the recovery that he would need from these intense training sessions. I mean, he was moving massive amounts of weight, right? And I mean, for him, I think what they were getting at is he has not been training in a while. He's been running a restaurant business, but it would have been cool to show him in like an ice bath, just like recovering on his off days every once in a while, because that's the reality. I mean, you go from doing not much to a high-level performance event, your body is going to be hurting, really, really hurting. And so recovery is probably more important. I was going to say equally, but more important than the training itself at this point to not only mitigate injury, but to be able to keep making gains. So anyway, awesome training montage. I mean, that was all like really good. I didn't see anything that was like not realistic or beneficial for like a training event such as this. So really good job to whoever was kind of doing the fitness choreography behind this. And really, really cool flick. Anyway, I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys on the next.